In 2022 alone, more than 10 electric cars were launched in Malaysia, with the last one being the Volvo C40 Recharge Pure Electric. Being an electric crossover of this size with a sloping roofline, the C40 is virtually unrivaled. However, in its price range, there are other EVs like the Mercedes-Benz EQA 250, the BMW iX3 Inspiring, the Kia EV6 and the Hyundai Ioniq 5. The C40 is the second electric car by Volvo, and although it is built on the same platform as the XC40, it is a dedicated EV simply for the fact that it doesn't have a hybrid or petrol-powered powertrain. The C40 fetches a price of 288,888 ringgit. In Malaysia, it's only available in one variant, which is the C40 Recharge Pure Electric Ultimate. With EVs in its price range being larger than it does call for the C40 to transcend its size and be the one EV to do it all. Is it up for the task? Well, let's find out. Malaysia straight away gets the facelifted version of the C40, which no longer comes with the dual-tone colour scheme. At the front, the C40 is identical to the facelifted version of the XC40, but the C40 was the first car to use this front-end design. The sloping roofline and the double-deck spoiler give the C40 a sporty and distinctive look. Name-wise, the C40 is the successor to the Volvo C30, which was a three-door hatchback by the brand. And you can see similarities between both cars in terms of just how bizarre their rear ends look like. On first impression, the C40 does look awkwardly tall, but considering the practicality that the ride height offers, it is a decently designed compact crossover. The coupe styling isn't just all for show though. It actually reduces the drag coefficient of the C40 to 0.319 from the XC40's 0.329. What this does is boost the electric driving range by 13 kilometers. On the WLTP test cycle, the C40 has an all-electric range of 451 kilometers. Although this is the ultimate variant, Malaysia gets the 19-inch 5 double-spoke wheels for the C40. In other regions, there is a 20-inch 5-spoke design, which personally I think fits the overall styling of the C40 much better. Inside, the C40 feels premium thanks to a combination of warm and fuzzy materials and a generally solid fit and finish. If you're a fan of ambient lighting and extravagant presentation, the interior of the C40 may feel a bit dull. The C40 heads in a different direction. Instead of taking inspiration from the insides of an RGB gaming computer, the C40 looks towards nature. The interior is 100% leather-free. These trims on the dashboard and door panels are inspired by the Swedish mountains, and possibly the most unnecessary and most likely to go unnoticed would be the sound of the indicator, which is actually the sound of a snapping twig from a Swedish forest. The seats are comfortable and supportive, and the steering wheel has good girth and good grip. Overall, the cabin of the C40 feels warm, fuzzy and calm. The head unit of the C40 is rather unique given the fact that it runs on Android Automotive. With Google built in, the head unit itself has Google Maps, Google Play Store and Google Assistant. This means that you have to install the apps on the head unit itself through the Google Play Store, as they are different versions of what you would get on your mobile phone. Also on the screen is the view for the 360-degree cameras. The view is clear and you can select the view from each individual camera. My only problem with this is that you can't show both individual and 360-degree view at the same time. One half of the screen is just blank when you switch to the individual camera. On the digital instrument cluster, you can choose to either show the Google Maps navigation or not. The only other thing you can bring up here is the trip meter. There are no display customizations here, and this might be a little underwhelming to some people. Driving information shown here include the battery percentage and the energy consumption rate. The sloping roofline of the C40 does compromise headroom for the second row passengers. Taller passengers will feel a bit claustrophobic in here, but it makes up for it by having this large fixed panoramic sunroof. Legroom for the second row passengers is alright, however there is a large center tunnel, which means the middle passenger will have to fight for foot space with the other two people. Naturally, with the sloping roofline of the C40, cargo height has been sacrificed. However, there is still over 400 litres of boot space, and generally it is a rather organised space. You do have this folding partition, and on top of it are shopping bag hooks to keep your items in place. And if that's not enough space, the C40 has a frunk that provides 31 litres of storage space. There's no engine here, and we can't see any electric motors, but the C40 packs some serious power. What is it like to drive? Well, stay tuned. Now, onto the things I don't like about the Volvo C40. The first thing I don't like about the car would be the absence of certain apps on the Android Automotive Head unit. You can go to Play Store, but you would find that certain apps like Waze and EV charging apps that we use in Malaysia are just not available. And when you do find EV charging apps that you can use, such as PlugShare, it is a lighter version of the app with very limited functions. The second thing I don't like would be the large fixed panoramic sunroof, which you can't close and doesn't come with an electrochromatic function. It is tinted, however, and surprisingly, it doesn't heat up the cabin as much as I thought it would. However, if there is a bird dropping on the roof, it would be extremely hard to ignore from inside the cabin. I also have a problem with the display for the EV range information. On the instrument cluster, you can only see the percentage of your battery, while on the portrait head unit through the range assistant, you can only see the range. Why can't both of them be in the same place? Lastly, the C40 doesn't have paddle shifters, which means you are stuck with one level of regenerative braking. Other EVs in this price range have this, and it would be nice if the C40 had it too. Now, onto the things I like about the Volvo C40. Overall, the interior of the C40 is premium and solid and has a good fit and finish. Being an entry-level premium car of its size and price, it really is quite luxurious on the inside if you can forgive the somber presentation. There's a lot of storage space in the C40 and everything is generally very organized. You've seen the boot space, you've seen the frunk, and inside the cabin, the door cards can actually fit an entire laptop. There are flexible nettings behind the front seats. There's a clever hook that folds out from the glove box. And in the center console is a removable dustbin. Speaking of which, my dustbin's a bit full and I shall go and clear it right now. Charging the car from 10% to 80% takes 28 minutes with a 150 kilowatt DC fast charger, and that's as fast as it goes since the C40 doesn't have an 800 volt architecture. With 11 kilowatt AC charging, that takes 8 hours. Speaking of which, we've just installed a wall box at our office provided by ChargeSync. Since we have a 3-phase power supply at our office, we've selected the 22 kilowatt model from ChargeSync. Honestly, with the wall box, you don't feel the AC charging time passing by since you are simply busy doing something else. From the inside, you can set the charging limit and current limit from the portrait head unit. You can also set a timer here, but this is more for those living in areas with peak and off-peak electricity tariffs. While charging, the instrument cluster shows you the charging speed, battery percentage, current, and an estimated time of when the charging will finish. From our experience though, it does tend to underestimate the duration just a little bit. For more information on wallbox chargers by ChargeSync, do click the link in the description of this video. The C40 doesn't have a push start button. To start the car, you simply get into the driver's seat, make sure to have your car key with you, press the brakes, shift to drive or reverse, and you are good to go. It is as simple as that. Of course, I shall put my seat belt on first, and now we're really good to go. To describe the driving experience of the C40, I would say that it is a very simple and minimalistic driving experience. Well, you've just seen how easy it was for me to literally get in and drive. Also adding to the simplicity is the fact that there are no normal, sport or eco modes in here. And there are no pedal shifters behind the steering wheel, which means there is only one level of strength when it comes to regenerative braking. There are also no fake sound options in here like you would find in German and Korean electric vehicles. And the only two things that you can control are whether or not you are driving in one pedal driving mode and do you want the steering wheel to feel firm or not. Now, one pedal driving mode is simply being able to drive the car with the accelerator pedal, and when you lift off, the car can come to a complete stop and hold itself there. Not all electric vehicles have this, despite the fact that they have regenerative braking. Personally, I find it to be a little bit too abrupt for my liking, but I guess it's something that you eventually get used to. Performance-wise, the C40 is a very unassuming looking car. It is a very cute, little adorable SUV with its pastel colors and its floral-inspired wheels. But do not let this fool you. The C40 makes 408 horsepower and 660 Newton meters of torque, which is a lot. Now, to put things into perspective, the Honda Civic 1.5 turbo makes 182 horsepower and 240 Newton meters of torque. The Volkswagen Golf R makes 320 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque. This means the C40 is just as fast as a hot hatch, and the car does 0 to 100 in 4.7 seconds. Even if you compare the C40 to other electric cars within its price range, it's still a fast car, simply for the fact that most of them have single motor setups. So let's take another EV that also has a dual motor setup. Let's take the Kia EV6. The EV6 makes 320 horsepower and 605 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 is done in 5.2 seconds. Still, the C40 is a faster car. So if you're buying an EV for the simple reason that they have this ludicrous acceleration, well, the C40 is perfect for you. As for the EV driving experience, well, the C40 has 451 kilometers of range on the WLTP test cycle, thanks to its 78 kilowatt hour battery pack. So it's quite alright in that department, and basically 400 plus kilometers of range on the WLTP test cycle is quite about average when it comes to EVs these days. The only outliers in terms of EV range would be the Mercedes-Benz EQS 450 Plus with over 700 kilometers of range, and on the lower end of things are cars like the Mazda MX-30 and the Mini Cooper SE with below 300 kilometers of range. With Google built in, the Google Maps on the Android Automotive Head Unit knows exactly the state of charge of your car right now, and if you key in a destination, it will estimate the battery percentage when you reach your destination. I think this is great. It lets you know for sure that you can reach where you want to go with the amount of battery that you have left. Overall, the C40 is easy to drive, it's fairly comfortable, it's very fast, and I think that if you're switching from a petrol-powered car to an electric vehicle within this price range, the C40 offers the most exciting driving experience. So, is the Volvo C40 Recharge Pure Electric the one EV to do it all for you? Well, if you have a decent amount of EV structure around you, then it's perfect. 451 kilometers of range is plenty and rather average for an electric car. But if you don't, then why are you even looking at an EV? It would only be good enough as a second car for the time being. The C40, despite being small, is quite practical and offers a decent amount of luxury. And if you're looking for an EV just for the sake of the ludicrous acceleration that it offers, the C40 is the fastest accelerating EV in its price range. If you'd like to know more on the Volvo C40 Recharge Pure Electric, do log on to AutoBuzz.my. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe, and remember to turn on notifications. If you don't, please let us know why in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.